Let's do it. You can tell my chakra as a man. You can tell my chakra as a man. Alright, you can tell my chakra as a man. I'm pulling out the top of my head. Alright, you can tell my chakra as a man. You can tell my chakra as a man. You can tell my chakra as a man. I'm pulling out the top of my head. You can tell my chakra as a man. Pulling out the top of my head. And I keep it rocking in the back. Smiling in the cockpit with your life. Alright, we don't put no comics on the strap. Yeah, just to make a profit in the space. They don't want no drama in this band. Pull up on your mama with the stick. Yeah, I'm on the same shit. So how like you just took a bike in it. I'm for you just like a spider. They hit up the parliament for something like it. Niggas is something shit. It ain't hard. Nigga, I'm selfish just like God. If I lean back, I get down to earth. To be exodus, your job. I'm a lesson all these stars. Be in the universe, more guys. Off the green bars, no cabbage. I get high, I think I know back. Fuck with me, no still dragging. There's no positive in this thing. You can tell my chakra is a slang. You can tell my chakra as a slave. That's right. You can tell my chakra as a slave. Alright. You can tell my chakra as a slave. That's right. I'm pulling out my cover like my whip. Alright. You can tell my chakra as a slave. That's right. You can tell my chakra as a slave. You can tell my chakra as a slave. That's right. Pulling out the cover like my whip. Flight boss came down next week. Flight boss come outside, do the 360. That unit full of OGs, 90 day. I can't do it, 90 and 90 day. Chakra level starting from the blue. Now I see my chakras through the roof. My face come out at night to do the deep. I'm vibing where there is and do the leaves. I got it all, it's a cup in that car, yeah. We don't stop for the law, got a spot on the stars, yeah. I wouldn't even be on earth, God didn't want to put me in work. It's not a game, it's so we get hurt. Till I see his colors like neon circle. Big homies was neon's first, acting like what ain't you. When shit gets sour like grapefruits, they start acting like take two. I ain't going nowhere but you take me, ain't going nowhere but I take you. I'm a goddess, do some limbs on my macabre. Flight ball. You can tell my chakra as a slave. That's right. You can tell my chakra as a slave. Alright. You can tell my chakra as a slave. That's right. I'm pulling out my cover like my whip. Alright. You can tell my chakra as a slave. You know. That's right. You can tell my chakra as a slave. You can tell my chakra as a slave. You know. That's right. I'm pulling out my cover like my whip. Yeah, flight boss. Just for all the dusty motherfuckers out there trying to hate too much. Just for all the haters that be saying kind of man trying to say too much. Just for all the bitches who ain't let a nigga hit when I ain't have love. Got playing with love. Yeah, got playing with love. Now only look down. Remixing in the kitchen, you gon' get a big price cause I only look down. If I ever got caught and I had to go to court, they gon' try to put down. And if you ever thought I was a dirty nigga, baby, tell me how I look now. Yeah, like $1 million bucks. I got blocks like Tetris. I'm not from Texas, but I'm trill as fuck. Yeah, we fuck with trizzles. They gon' want the pickle just to deal with us. Yeah, chill with us. Let foundation come build with us. Off the gas, who gon' fill the pump. Treat all you rappers like meals for lunch. Yeah, I'm top of the line. Treat you like an immigrant. You was crossing the line. Who told you that was hot? Man, you only could rhyme. If you thought that was good, then it's all in your mind. Yeah, you got no clue why you took that route. Yeah. If I was you, I would put that out for sure. And if you thought that was fire, I'ma put that out. No other hoes is needed, just close the drink with some quotes from Jesus and my goals and reasons. Like, listen, dog, don't get your bitch involved. She's like a thinking bomb, she gon' choke this evening. I'm trying to get my foot in the door, but right now, nigga, close to leaving. Goddamn. If you don't like me, you're hate at that vibe. I'll change your area for a second. Don't make me put one in your name. Ask ask me why language your name is hard. Just all the low class bitches out there that be fucking for the rent. Just all the broke ass niggas out there for the let bust some leg. You a whole ass dude when I jump at you, I'm a motherfucker flinch.
I have no clue, but a motherfucker full like a motherfucker blip, yeah. Not from this planet. So this is the earth on a dusty canvas. Got your ride shaking. I had to leave that hoe alone because the cut was cramping.
You know it ain't mine. You know it ain't mine. She going through changes, phone to your read, and she going in time, yeah.
This let's save, huh? Wonder how that works. What's up, y'all? Goddamn camera. Let me see if I do this. Is that silly? What's up, y'all? I know you like that timing. What it do, man? What it do, y'all? What's up? What's poppin'? This is definitely a special ceremony today. I happen to be a vessel of Pluto right now, so this isn't supposed to be an intense ritual, but since I'm facilitating it and Pluto is literally like beaming through my soul with the South Node, you're going to notice a bit of destructive, intense, is the word results? Shout out to Star with a pineapple without cutting it. Effects of this. So pardon the intensity, pardon the low energy. I'm hanging in here. It's not as bad as it looks at all. Shout out to all perspectives with the 22 Cancer Sun. You know what I'm talking about. Shout out to my fellow Cap and Cancer moons too. But yeah, bask in these vibes. This is a new moon in Aries. So normally in ceremonies, we combine our energy. You know what I mean? We connect, we set intentions. We don't have to do that for this one. All you have to do is to take an authentic action. Really sit deep into your soul and figure out tonight, right now, what is a quintessentially unique, authentic action to you that you can take, that no one else but you can take. And that's all you have to do, because, you know, cardinal sign is all about that action. So, I mean, it's literally that simple. And yeah, we will pick up, of course, when we do ceremonies past Cancer, you know, into Gemini, we'll start getting intentional. But this one for Aries and Taurus, totally, you know, really simple. The simpler, the better. Okay. Yes, new moon energy can be felt before it occurs. So keep that in mind as well. It's not a coincidence. We're doing this right as the sun just entered 15 degrees, which is a degree equals 6 numerology of balance. So I hope y'all are ready. I'm really gonna spend this ceremony just keeping you up to speed of what this new cycle is. Just certain things you want to be mindful of. So Happy New Year, because we stepped into Aries, right? But this new cycle is only just starting. Like it's officially activating. So like everything before at 0 degrees Aries up until now, halfway during the sign, war cry. Ah, haru, haru. Literally, everything before then was just to prepare you for now. Like, that's why I called it superpower activation. No more fluff. I mean, the peace dealer never hits you with fluff. I'm just be real. But just like everything that I've been talking about for the past 2 years, activating right now. It's easy if your awareness is past Scorpio or Libra. You can see clearly how your superpowers have been open. For those of you who are the first 6 zodiac signs, this is going to become so real in a magical sense that is meant to have you question reality. So let's just talk facts right now, okay? Neptune, we're in a galactic war. Like, this is inescapable. Certain titans are back in their home position, and they're talking mad smack. They're back in their home. They were waiting to come back in their home where they can buy their forces and, you know, start to get at other energies. Neptune has been talking shit. Saturn has been talking mad crap. Jupiter is talking. Jupiter literally wants all the smoke. Just look at any Sagittarius. Everybody getting their kirks, okay? Jupiter is blessing all the Saggies. Like, I'm back, y'all. It's time. Get your bows. Neptune is just blessing all the Pisces, giving them new genjutsu. Okay, Saturn is preparing all the caps. So Saturn's back in its home. Neptune's back in its home. Sagittarius is back in its home. Like, it's here. It's finally time. Pluto isn't in its home per se, but I mean, that's Sith Lord and Darth Vader. They go back. Like, they cool. This might as well be. So it's going down, y'all. It's going so down. Shout out to Lady Rainstar. She's been going hard with her posts about, you know, sexual expression and not feeling demonized for, you know, expressing one's naked body and not having to feel like they're doing it for gratification, which is so important to this cycle. So just letting y'all know, oh my God, the reason why I've been talking about superpower activation is like, this is something that's happening to everybody. And people who are outside of integrity are also going to awaken their powers too. So the whole realistic vibe and reality of people using their superpowers to manipulate you, it's nothing new. It's everything that's been happening before this. But if you don't know yourself, you're going to allow yourself to get deceived and manipulated. I always like to play defensive here, just so you can empower yourself and not get stuck in fear. We're in the new cycle now, so you don't want to complain about, oh, I'm getting psychically attacked. Oh, I'm going through this depression. You need to boss up. You need to stand in your power, and you need to claim your victory. Okay. The kid gloves are completely off. They were off when Jupiter's in Scorpio. Now they're completely off. You're going to be direct. Chiron is in Pisces. So that's the training wheels are off. You're on a motorbike now, and you're directly confronting these dark forces. You're going to realize how what you thought was some paranoid schizophrenic delusion is actually coming from a real influence in a totally different context. And you have to, and once you confront it, it's gone now. So this is empowering. It shouldn't make you feel nervous. This should prepare you. You should play some hype music. That's why I started this broadcast off with Dolo. He's an Aries. So we're setting this energy off quite powerfully. Shout out to Lena in the building. So as I'm just going to go over certain points that this new cycle and new year is going to begin, just like J-Zack said, activating our superhero powers. We're starting this cycle. Aries, literally 15 degrees. It's the halfway point. But why is this important? Rough Riders anthem, for sure. Why is this important? We're starting this cycle with Neptune in Pisces. And this is important here because this cycle that we're starting now with the energy that's everywhere is going to influence you until the very end of the cycle next year, March. And so we have double Sun and Moon Aries with Chiron in Aries. Okay, we're completely through this cycle healing our masculinity, whether you're a man or whether you're a woman. Like, you're healing the drive to be you and not apologize for being dope. Now, last year was in Pisces, so you had to surrender. The whole theme of the past decade. This is why this cycle is so much newer than the last cycle that we had last year. Chiron in Pisces, right, was allowing you to surrender to your insecurity. You had to feel pain. You had to take L's. Now Chiron is in Aries. No more of that foo-foo deception that you're going to accept. Not Chiron. Chiron's cool. No more of the foo-foo deception you had to entertain. Like, it's wartime. You're directly confronting the dark. That is one of the key features of this new cycle, as opposed to old cycles that we're championing. Uranus is in Taurus. What does the second house mean? It's manifestation. What are you manifesting? Aries, Sun, and Moon manifesting Uranus and Taurus. You are physically manifesting superpowers that you have literally been building since 2010. That's 9 years, y'all. That's a 9-year cycle from Jupiter being in Pisces to Sagittarius. And I wish I could really put into words, oh, I'm doing it right now. This shit is real. Like, I want to curse so much right now, but I don't want to be too vulgar, because I know that this audience is expanding towards more people, which is so ironic, because the young children who I'm holding back vulgarity from are more vulgar than me behind their parents' backs. Like, they're saying all the bad words, but that's the, two wrongs don't make it right. The thing that's really important here is that you're not just manifesting this into your physiology so that you can neurolinguistically connect your deep emotions with your body. This is now because it is sextiling Neptune and Pisces, allowing you awareness of what used to be unconscious. Now you're going to understand like never before, because Chiron is bringing this through. What else do we have? Pluto and Saturn in the final decade. There's a sense of seriousness. There's a sense of gravity that has risen that you need to rise up against, or it will break you down. All right. Some people say surrender. I'm a warrior at heart. Fight till you can't fight anymore. Take what I say with a grain of salt. But in my opinion, you need to fight until you can fight no more, because the deceptive rhetoric that will be spewed in your face to take what you're doing right in your life, to take what you're doing to be quintessentially yourself and make you out to be some type of villain is going to be heavy. I mean, there's already this stupid rhetoric that is enabling people to be victims, that's enabling people to be too sensitive, that takes away their power just so people can say things that make others feel right. Let me tell y'all, we all know Sagittarius is blunt. We all know Aries does not care as much as people think it should. So get 100% ready to offend people. And I'm going to say this one more time. Get comfortable being disliked by other people. Because if you're a people pleaser, this is going to be, Aries cannot be inauthentic. Thank you, Nika. The only way Aries can be inauthentic is when they're not being themselves. And that's not a fault of Aries. So like, be 100% prepared to be disliked by people that are too caught up in if you're being right or wrong, instead of just being themselves. Because let me tell you, sometimes you have to be wrong in an effort to stay true to you, even though right and wrong is truly subjective already. And if people already disliked you, then congratulations. Like, it's something that shouldn't really affect it. And I'm saying this too passionately because a lot of this war is not physical. A lot of this war is purely psychological. A lot of this war is to strip you of the confidence of just being yourself. You shouldn't, it's 2019. You should not think about saying something because you're worried about it offending someone else. In this day and age, especially if you're in a free country that champions free speech. Like, we literally have people telling others what they can say or not. which goes against the whole concept of having free thoughts. The whole notion of you having free thoughts is that you can be free to say what you say. You can also be free to accept the consequences to say what you say. It's all beautiful. So be very mindful of these people who will passive aggressively and just super stupidly be threatening you to not be you because of what you represent. I'm telling you, it's good. And the whole thing about this are these people are the dark forces are cowards. So they're going to come in this very indirect, backwards way where they're trying to be your friend, but they're slowly leading you off path by trying to bring something as meaningless as societal opinion and old traditional norms that, I mean, I don't know about you, but that shit's dead and gone. I know your parents may be attached to it. I know your siblings may be attached to it. Some of you may be attached to it because some people like to take what's convenient for them, right? And, you know, it is what it is. This energy is its most intense, okay? We're starting off a supernatural cycle with Jupiter and Sagittarius trining it. What makes this cycle supernatural? Well, all the Titans and all the big planets that we have are in the final 4 zodiac signs: Jupiter and Sag, Neptune and Pisces, Pluto and Saturn and Capricorn. This shit's gonna leave Capricorn, it's gonna go into Aquarius and literally establish new knowledge. And that does not come before the total destruction of old norms. And let's make sense of this. People who are born in the 50s, people who are born in the 60s, they're passing and transitioning on power to people born in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. There's no choice. The cultural norms that they have are fading away. The decisions they have, as much as they try and influence it, as much as people from the 80s and 90s are trying to influence it, it's passing on. And you can get stuck in a certain place, or you can get with the times, or you can be you. I invite you not to get with the times. I invite you not to get stuck in a certain place. I invite you to be you, because who you are is timeless. And I promise you, as sure as Pluto is squaring this energy in Aries, there is a subliminal psychological war to make you feel like you're wrong for being you. People say be yourself, and then they say not like that. No one is, there's very few people who are concerned with you being authentic. They want you to be presentable. You are not here to be presentable. You are not here to fit in. You are here to stand out. And the way that society controls people is through the reinforcement of certain cultural norms, through psychological triggers that reward through reaction. When you do something and people don't pay attention to it versus other people doing things that are socially acceptable and they get all sorts of accolades, all that is an illusion. This is why what we're doing is revolutionary. We're manifesting our own tribes, and all people can say is to slap a label. All these anti-vaxxers are stupid. All these flat earthers are stupid. This group of people, they're so dumb. And that's not to say that each of those groups don't believe in things that are questionable, but what are you doing? You're dividing yourself from other people just due to a difference in philosophy, to where you could have a heart-to-heart with that person and realize you have way more in common than the beliefs you don't share. It's all psychological. It is all an illusion, and we're breaking through this. That's why I hate the term the spiritual community, because that puts you in a box. You are not part of a spiritual community. You are you. You connect with everybody, regardless of a community. You're psychic just like they're psychic. You have dreams just like they have dreams. You just choose to see into the meaning of it. Whereas others might think it's a coincidence, but it doesn't make you different from them. Outside of your own quirks that make you unique. So that's just something I want to kind of bring your way. This is the first of 4 supernatural event triggers. And I need to tell y'all, for the rest of this year, please be very mindful of what you see, because what you see on the news, what you see physically, like, it's so hard for people to understand Ephesians 6:12. It's so hard for people to understand our enemies are not flesh and blood. You can see other human beings do things that are uncharacteristic to their true essence, but that's not your enemy. When you say that your true enemy are principalities, powers, spiritual forces of evil in high places, it's so easy to scoff at that and say, oh, that's some imaginary mumbo jumbo, but it's the truth. So when you see certain things happen in public and you demand some literal explanation, like, so many people are content at seeing something happen and feeling like that's all it is, not knowing that there's so much beneath the surface. There is a spiritual force of evil that possessed somebody to do what they did because that person allowed space for them to come in with the darkness of their hearts. Everyone's susceptible. And that's the whole point of Jupiter and Sag and Neptune and Pisces, that square that is forcing you to realize that everything you see isn't necessarily real. You can see somebody crying, saying that they're the gay Tupac, saying that they got jumped, and there's video surveillance footage of them getting jumped, and you believe that because the news told you, only to find out, oh, you got bamboozled. And that's just an example of what got caught. You don't even know what's not getting caught. You don't even know what's getting covered up. And you're probably feeling it. So don't let these people belittle you because you want more answers. Don't let these people belittle you because you think critically and you think of different possibilities. And they're just so quick to say, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. Oh, you want to see more into stuff. No, applaud yourself for being willing to see more than just one possibility instead of being content with what you're told, as if you haven't been lied to multiple times, as if there hasn't been reason for you to have distrust in what you're being told. Don't forget. So keep that in mind. This is the first of 4 supernatural event triggers. And the other 3 are going to be the other cardinal signs. Cancer season, when we step into the summer solstice. The 3rd is going to be the fall equinox. And the last is going to be the winter solstice. 4 different supernatural trigger points. And this first one is to literally spark and activate this within you. Once we get to the summer solstice, we're going to do the second trigger, which is going to integrate this initial spark and have you develop your soul signature. Shout out to Escobar in the building. R.I.P. Nipsey. Every time souls die, it's the full moon that allows them to pass on. So when we do the full moon in Taurus or I guess Libra, we'll hold space for souls like Nipsey and everyone else who's died between them to pass through in a moment of silence. But until then, you know what I'm saying? After we get to this first integrating one where we develop our soul signature and we integrate deep in our feelings, the 3rd trigger is going to be this new moon in Libra, or the just Libra season that's now going to emerge this out towards how we can share this with others. And then the final trigger where we completely succeed and break through into that 2020 period. Now, before I really just want to send this ceremony just putting y'all on game, because this is going to be, Sagittarius is ready for war. Just ask any fire sign, like, they're ready for war. They may not even know this, but they're ready. Like, they're ready to go. And that's because something very monumental is occurring right now for the first time ever, where you're really allowed to make decisions that bring out the true nature of you versus a lesser real manifestation. So other than that, before I go into that, I do want to show you guys something very important concerning my Patreon page. If y'all hit up my Patreon, the Peace Dealer, I do have super chat priority. So for $11, whenever I do super chat readings at the end, I'm going to go to the patron list and I'm going to read down every of you who have a tier. And I'm going to start with that first before I go on to the list. That way you don't have to you can send me tips every time you want, or you could just do this and I'm just going to do that priority. And then I have the exclusive tarot and oracle card format forecast, or once, which I showed the Pisces season one or the Aries season one for free. This is going to be exclusive now on Patreon. I'm going to do 10 card Celtic cross, 3 romance angel cards. It's basically like a general reading, a love reading, and a career reading all in one. And you also get the super chat priority. If you get the live monthly astrology horoscope, you get also the exclusive and the super chat priority as well. So they all come bundled into the package. Okay. Other than that, you know, I do want you to keep in mind that every single thing that you have been taught, every single thing that you have gone through, every single experience that you have been gone through has decidedly prepared you for war. Shout out to P. Did. Thank you for joining that Patreon, Libra. It's decidedly prepare you for war. Jupiter's in Sagittarius now. This is like opening the gates. I think a very relevant war we've had, whether World War II or I, Jupiter was in Sagittarius. None of this is a coincidence. Uranus was in Taurus when we had the economic depression back in the 20s and 30s. And this is because this is preparing you to fight for what you believe in. Whether people want to be led by deception, these planetary energies spark triggers to align us back in truth. And there are going to be people who follow it. There are going to be people who don't listen to the call. At the end of the day, everything that you've gone through has prepared you for this fight. Teo said, how should we fight this war? Authentically, in your heart. What you're fighting for is the right to enjoy the victory of being you. What you're effectively fighting for is the right to be you without having it be limited, which is still very controversial in this day and age, because we still need limits. Like if everyone did what they want, we would be in chaos. And yet that doesn't change the fact that this is what we're stepping into. Because once Jupiter goes into Capricorn and it starts to conjunct Pluto and Saturn, you are going to see riots at a much greater degree. You are going to see fights against a current establishment all over the world. Really keep into account what you've been doing the last 10 years and how it shaped you, because this is what it's all for. Okay. And so this is where some of you have been tapping into your higher selves. Some of you have been tapping into incarnations. Some of you are incarnations of Isis. Some of you are incarnations of Osiris. I mean, you're still you, and you don't want to let those incarnations eclipse who you are, because it's just an aspect of yourself. Some of you are incarnations of other beings. So it's important for you to, water signs are attracting a lot of earth signs for protection. Facts. It's important for you to understand the difference between true versus real incarnations. Some of you are real incarnations. Some of you have true incarnations, right? So a real incarnation of, say, King Arthur, right? There's going to be a template of a being, and you have real incarnations of an energy. This is just an example versus the true incarnation of that, the original incarnation of that. A real incarnation of King Arthur per se is going to go through the same lessons. They're going to mirror the same lessons that King Arthur has gone through versus the true incarnation of King Arthur, who's going to literally draw from that sword that none of the other incarnations may do because they're not the true one. All right. And this applies to you because every single person who's watching this and has incarnated is a true incarnation of a being, whether it's been written down in legend or whether it's just written down in your heart. And as you and this is what's activating. What the superpower is you. The superpower is you. That's what you're activating. The true version of you. It's just the true version of you may be so devoid of conventional sanity that many of you could hold yourself back. And this is where we get into Neptune square Jupiter, Neptune semi-sextile this Aries energy, and sextiling Uranus. Like the game is changing, and some of you will limit yourselves because you're afraid of doing what is conventionally wrong, when that's what you have to do. Why? Because it would mean you being authentic. If you being authentic to yourself and making an original decision means that you have to do what's conventionally wrong, don't let old rules that were not made with you in mind limit you, because that's not authentic. All I'm saying. And that can honestly manifest in so many different ways. The last time we had Pluto in Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces, the likes of Plato were born. Socrates, back in 450 to 380 BC, when they were beefing with the sophists, because sophists came and started to basically get people hip onto rhetoric and persuasion. And you had this whole beef between philosophy and rhetoric. This stuff is coming back. New philosophies are going to come through that captivate people. And you have to be very wary against deception. Okay? People, unfortunately, still believe what they see. People will believe Facebook posts that they see. People will believe lies about other people that they don't know. Seriously. You can like, someone can look at the writings of a case and assume that it's true when they were not there. Like, if you think about how deluded people are, people think that they know about other people when all that they have about them is hearsay. You were not there physically. You don't really know them. All you know is what you heard about them. All you know is what you've seen on some official news platform about them, but you've never met them. You've never seen them in your life, but you're so willing to call someone a quack. You're so willing to call someone a fraud. You know what I'm saying? You haven't had a real experience about them to really know. And so many people like this are around judging others. You know, cancel culture is so played out. The whole fact that you really think you can cancel another person, it's naive. It's hilarious. It's childish. So it is what it is. You know, thankfully, hopefully people will learn to mind their business, because that's honestly the one thing that will save the world. If people just mind their goddamn business and stop trying to dictate what other people can or can't do. Oh my gosh, I have a dream where people of all colors, creeds, and nationalities mind their own goddamn business and literally just live their path. Oh, wow. We'll all get along. Anyway, we are going to do a bit of a ceremony. We're just going to share intent. It's really all about action, moving forward. It's all about action. Make every action that you are doing so aligned with your true being. It's almost hard for people who don't know that to recognize you, because some of you definitely had to, you know what I'm saying, be in a position to not wear a mask, but to open up to different perceptions. And that's where Pisces is misunderstood. Pisces gets misunderstood as being either fake or deceptive, when Pisces has to put on different masks. Pisces and Gemini, like, we have to see different perceptions in order to understand where people are coming from. Some of you have had to listen and understand what other people were saying, and that meant really feeling into their criticism, really identifying with the lies or deception they said. And now that you understand, you're breaking out of that. Chiron's in Aries. It's like, okay, now that I've understood this, now I can tell you why you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Now I can tell you why, through my real experience, you're a little bit off about what you think about me. And let me show you, because Jupiter's in Sagittarius, let me show you how wrong you are. Well, it's not about being right or wrong, but just saying, let me show you how true I am. Okay. So first thing is dark forces. Do not entertain dark force energy coming towards you. You can talk back to it. Doesn't matter how crazy you look. Cast away dark forces. Really own up your space to where you're still peaceful, but you don't take crap from anybody. No one has the right to step into your own sacred space and tell you who you are. People are addicted to doing that, especially behind a computer screen and not in your face where they can get these hands. So watch out for the deception against light workers. Agents are being sent to you to share false narratives under the guise of being friendly. You know those people. They act like, oh, I just want to look out for your well-being. Here, watch this YouTube video about how, reading tarot is evil, or watch this YouTube video about how what you're doing is probably bad. And they're trying to act like they're helping you, but they're only feeding you false narratives. They're using your relationship to try and change your perception, which is not authentic, because if they're authentic, they would have a heart-to-heart to you. But they want to give you rhetoric and then make you feel like they're looking out for you. These are dark force agents. They're not concerned with being authentic. They're only concerned with converting you into what they believe, because that's how they feel more comfortable piecing together this world, which is totally meaningless, by the way. Regardless of whatever meaning you put into this life, ultimately it's all meaningless. And some of you are going to learn that the hard way, because you attach so much to the meaning you put. You can put meaning, but you have to detach. That's the balance. You have to detach enough to where you remember, even though and that's the yin yang. There's so much meaning, but even though that meaning is meaningless, just so it encourages you to experience it and move on. Okay? It gets worse. You're going to be told outright lies just to make you doubt your path. Spiritual phenomena is going to be redefined with pseudoscientific literature in order to deceive those who lack discernment. So this is where it's like, y'all really need to believe in what you believe. Some of you have had such personal experiences. This is where the angels are going to test whether you truly know and truly believe in the synchronicities you've seen. When you see experiences that make you doubt whether it's true and you don't have the proof, but you see a synchronicity, you have that connection with your angels and you trust it, you'll know that things are more than a coincidence, because you're going to see, we've reached a period of time where the people who were born in the 50s, the people who were born in the 60s, many of them have passed. They're not here to tell us that what they're saying about that isn't true. They're gone. You can't find people in the 30s. So people can outright lie about stuff in the past, literally make hard to find certain material in the past. And, if you believe it's because you believe what you're told. You're going to see pseudoscientific literature written by scientists to explain very high vibrational spiritual experiences is just delusions of the mind. Oh, this is just a bias. People who believe in astrology, they believe in these biases. Like, they dumb down and just take away the essence and magic of experiences you go through. And they have every right to do that. It is you who needs to see through that bullshit and make sure you don't get caught up. Because think of how stupid people can be. Think of the confidence people will be to feel like they have one up on you because they didn't do research of their own. They're like, see, this scientist just proved that tarot cards are astrology. I'm using that as an example. This can apply to anything. This scientist just proved that astrology is bullshit when they didn't do research of their own. They didn't really experience this themselves to see if it's true or not. They're going off of hearsay. They're literally just reading what somebody else wrote about it. And they're taking their limited experience and literally believing that they know something they don't know anything about. And this, like I said, doesn't just apply to a field of astrology. This can apply to actual people. When people, go on what do you call those things? Smear campaigns to ruin people's image. And you have people who have never met seriously, we live in a world, and it's nothing new. People have been doing this before social media, during Salem witch trial hunts, where it's like, you can get up in arms, you can lose sleep, you can be so angry over someone you've never met. And you swear you hate them because someone else showed you evidence and rhetoric about why they're bad people, but you've never met them. You've never had an experience with them. You've never yourself had an actual opportunity to see for yourself as it is. And people just believe what they're told. These are the times we're in. where people are going to be looking for truth and it's going to be so hard to find. How much do you believe in yourself? Because when these tables get turned on you, which they will, I don't think people realize this, but every single person is going to have to go through the fact that they're going to be on the receiving end of criticism and antagonizement. And are you going to stay true to you? Like, there's so many people who will switch up just because of some literature, just because of some rhetoric. Like, they did not have the experiences you had. They were not shown the signs that you've had. Are you going to let someone else dismiss that personal experience as some pseudoscientific delusion? That is your decision. Because we have balance here, but this is how serious this is. The kid gloves are being taken off. And a lot of people are cowards. They don't want to have a heart-to-heart with you. I'm very passionate about this because I've seen this and I'm seeing it happening more and more, where people can offer flimsy evidence and excuses as to why they can't open up their heart to you, as to why they can't keep it real, as to why they have to continue their fakeness. And you see all sorts of dumb people excusing the dumbest behavior. And if you don't, you're just a hater. Well, call me a hater then. Like, how much are you going to believe in yourself? Because you're going to see people fall off the wayside in this war. Are you ready for the secret deals and offers to distract you off your path? Are you ready for the dark forces to be like, hey, stop doing this astrology? I'm going to use astrology as an example. For those of you who are in light work, you're a number one target. If anything, that's what Nipsey Hussle has proven. Whenever you decide to tell the truth, to stand for something, to actually put in work for your community, you are a target, whether it's by some secret society or whether it's by someone you know personally. You are a target. And we could take those people out of it, because the real people who know it's a battle between spiritual forces of evil and spiritual forces who rap light. Like, that's the base understanding of this. So be prepared to be disliked, because people have no power. Some people have no power outside of their deception. So all they can do to you is give you a disapproving face. Did you notice that? Comment a drip emoji if you notice that people will not give you an argument. They'll give you a disapproving face. They'll give you an emotional appeal. They'll say something that makes you feel guilty about how you think, but they will not tell you the truth. They will not directly confront what you're talking about. They'll just get frustrated. You know what? It's not worth talking about this. That doesn't prove what you're saying is true. You're just acting like a child. That's the dark force, beloved. You represent truth. This is how you trigger other people. It's that real. So are you ready for the secret deal offers? Oh, forget what you're doing here. I'm gonna pay you this much money. How much do you want? Huh? I'm gonna pay you $100,000. Work this real job. See, you'll have luxury. You'll have affluence. You'll be around cool people. You won't be around these nobodies who congregate on YouTube. What are you guys talking about? You guys just come up on YouTube. What do you guys even do with your lives? What do you guys, a prayer circle? It's real out here. And some people will fall for the wayside because that's what they really want. They don't really care about this path. I did not come on this path to be a billionaire. I did not come on this path to be famous. I'm North Node Aquarius. I know whatever recognition is going to come. But if it never comes, you're going to still see me make a weekly horoscope. You are going to still see me, whether I use YouTube, whether I do it on the streets, talk about this, because that's my destiny. I could give a damn less about whatever else comes from this, because I know I'm connected. I know it's going to come. Not everyone is built like that, unfortunately. So, and it shows. Some people want to do this for likes. Some people want to do this for views, and they buy views and they buy likes. Some people want to do this because of the prestige they get. Some people want to do this because of the recognition that they can get when they read cards for people, and it changes them. A lot of people, especially in this path, they don't really care about doing it for the right reasons. It's going to be 100% exposed. If someone was to give you a deal right now, someone was to give me a deal right now for that, I would have to make sure it aligns with what I'm doing. I've more than one time turned down offers like that, very lucrative offers, because I can tell what it was for, just to stop me from doing this. And over my dead body, like, you're not even gonna kill me. I'm protected. All right, do you know you're protected? Like, any of you who walk this path, walk forward with courage. All they're going to tell you is you're crazy, you're delusional, you don't know what you're talking about, and give you this fake sense of concern as if they care when they could care less. All they're concerned about is changing you. This is a real fight. Once you walk this path, you have already gained victory. That's the best part of this, the victory that comes with being you. And this is why I say, if they get mad, you have to get glad, because you're triggering something in them that they can no longer deny. And that's why they're getting mad, regardless of what they tell you, because they're going to espouse some bullshit rhetoric about, oh, you're doing this, oh, you're doing that, when there is there's never a reason to not unconditionally love someone. So you already know what they're saying after but is BS. It's that real, son. It is that real, okay? Be ready for people to discourage you on your path. People who are more concerned with what you look like. Oh, but your image looks like this. Oh, but I don't know, you shouldn't be saying this because it's going to offend this person. And they give you this fake manipulative aura as if they truly care, when all they're concerned about is controlling you. Are you ready to fight past that? 'Cause trust me, my friends, Chiron is an Aries. We are throwing them hands. I don't think you know we are throwing them hands. Okay? If this was Chiron and Libra, we would have political talks to where we reach compromise. No. Chiron, if it was Chiron in Sagittarius, we'd be throwing bows. We'd literally be throwing hammers, shooting guns. It's Chiron and Aries. You can get these hands. I'm not telling you to physically fight people, but with your energy, you're not taking crap from, and that's what I respect about Aries. They don't take shit from anybody. Like, once you disrespect them, and as a Gemini, I don't always get it, because as a Gemini, it's like, it's not that serious. Like, if someone disrespects me, I don't give a damn. Like, that's them. That's a reflection on them. But I still do respect that Aryan impulse where it's like, no, you're not going to say that in my face. And we're going to catch the fade. You're going to catch the fade right now. What's up? Say that to my face. This is that Chiron and Aries energy. You must confront light to any disrespect, so that you, not for your pride, not so that you feel some sense of power within yourself, so that you stand up for yourself, so that the person who's watching you, who's looking up to you as a role model, knows how they should follow suit. And that's the game we're in right now. Be prepared for disrespect. Be prepared for people to think that they know what they're doing, and don't allow them to trigger you, because all it is to trigger you out of control so that you catch yourself slipping. Remember, you are already victorious. You don't have to prove to anybody what you're doing. No one proved to you what you're doing. Spirit came, and just like Spirit showed itself to you, Spirit will show itself to them, until you realize that some people fight for the dark. So they've rejected Spirit. And they're just acting in your face like they care. I'm telling you, this shit is real. It's easy for mutable signs to see. It's easy for eighth housers to get it, okay? Because we just cut straight to someone. Shout out to the Scorpios. We just cut straight to the core, okay? So really keep that in mind. You need to replace guilt with confidence. And you're fighting against false stereotypes, especially the stigma against psychics. If you are a psychic, if you are a light worker, there is a stigma against you. There is a stigma to make you feel like you're delusional, you're a fraud in an unregulated field that is naturally going to draw just anybody. You need to stand with pride for the work you do. Before, when it was in Pisces, yeah, we might have had to lay low. The time for laying low is gone. You need to stand with pride. You need to be ready for people who are low vibrational and full of their ego to try and disrespect you, and to show they need to see that what they do doesn't affect you. And they're going to be mad because they feel weakness. Have you guys noticed that? The reoccurring energy, even if unconsciously, of what people are saying, they're getting a lot more angry because it's not affecting you. You're not allowing things to piss you off like it might have gotten to you before. And there's vulnerability and beauty in weakness. There's beauty in vulnerability and weakness. Like, you had to let that get to you just so you can realize it's not that bad. So like, stand up for yourself. All they can do is give you this weird face like, ugh, you don't know what you're doing. They're so weak. They are so weak. To this day, there is nothing that they've done. So there's no reason you should fear. All they can do at worst is just try and manipulate your image. And this is your opportunity to show yourself. It doesn't matter how much big reach someone has. As long as they're lying, your truth is going to shine through. Saturn and Capricorn is holding you to integrity so that you're walking your talk and everything that you do is filled with integrity. As long as what you're doing is filled with integrity, you should have no fear, even if it kills you. Look at the legacy Nipsey has left. Because he walked his talk, because he wasn't just talking about it. He actually lived it. Look at how many people he inspired so that even in death, he's more alive than he's ever been. This shit is real, B. There is a spiritual war going on right now, and people are too focused on what's what that they're forgetting that they just need to be them. And you could either be yourself or you could be trapped in this illusion of being right or wrong. And let me give you a very hard pill to swallow. The way the narrative is being set up is if you're really fully, authentically walking in your truth, you're the bad guy. The good guy is the person who's politically correct, the person who is enabling false sensitivity in others, the person that won't tell others what they need to hear, but what they want to hear. Okay. And the way that you're being finessed is that they know they cannot limit the true authenticity of one's individuality. And so they're going to usurp laws above what you can do to limit your sovereignty. They're going to say, oh, you can't do this. Oh, you can do that. When no one can tell you what you can or can't do. You are self-governed. You run. This is what integrity is all about. You take responsibility for all your actions, whether the law catches you or not. Saturn's watching you. Go get that karma. So what are you living by? And some of you are going to have to become the bad guy. And you will know because you are sacrificing acceptance to gain true freedom. I've always believed this, and I'll believe it again. If being the true me makes me seen as a loser, then I am the motherfucking greatest loser of all time. Do you see the difference? I'm me. No one can tell me who I am. People can get in their feelings because I'm so good at getting people in their feelings. And out of that place, they can name call me as if name calling isn't what children do. But you know, if I have to sacrifice acceptance and be seen as a loser to be truly me, then let me catch that L. You will see me be the flyest loser ever. I'll put out a debut album and the singer is called I'm a Loser. I'll be catching L's. I'll be losing and I'll be doing it in the best way I can do. And no one can take that away from me. That's what the dark forces hate. And that's what the dark side of this society around the world has been built on. Passive aggressive manipulation by positive and negative reinforcement of what people do. The lamest. Rarely do you have people fully acknowledge people's authenticity because they're scared. Don't let people who are too afraid to be themselves tell you who you are. And that's the word. That's the word. If there's anything that you need to take from this, because there are a lot of people who think they know who they are because they ascribe to this image of what they think they're supposed to be, driving this certain car, having this certain money, and all this finite material that doesn't really align with who they are. They've inflated their sense of self. Do not let people who are truly afraid to be themselves tell you who you are. I could give a damn less if people think I'm a loser. I know I'm the GOAT. And I know this because this wasn't even self-proclaimed. Other people have acknowledged it too. And I take that with great humility and honor. So nobody's going to take the years of experience that I have built bonding with real people because they feel like they know. And just like I'm taking this attitude, I really hope you take this to heart as well. If you be prepared to sacrifice acceptance from others to gain true freedom, provided what you're doing is authentic to you, and do not attribute apparitions to higher beings. This is Neptune in Pisces square Jupiter in Sag. You guys are going to be seeing signs off the wazoo. You think you saw signs. You think you saw synchronicities. That was just a beta. That was just a beta test. You're going to see signs that like have built you up to really accept this. Where if you were to feel this before, you would be terrified or you would think you're crazy. Now you can accept these signs. Do not attribute apparitions to higher beings. When you manifest the synchronicity, that's you. Take responsibility for your experience. One thing that I hate people hearing, and you know what I'm saying? You know, some people have had to do this, but don't see a sign and then say, oh, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God. Because the ascended masters are going to look down at you like, you did that. Stop giving. Family Guy nailed that. When someone was like, thank you, Jesus. And then Krishna was like, oh. And then Jesus was like, should I tell him it was you? And Krishna's like, no, it's okay. Like, stop giving away your power, because this now invites deceptive entities to be like, oh, snap, shoot, I can weave synchronicities for this person. And they'll just believe me blindly. If I just show up to them in the presence of an angel and I show them these signs, they'll believe anything I say. You better take your power back, because deception is at an all-time high. Don't just believe it because you've seen it in the media without doing your own research, or without at least taking it with a grain of salt. Period. That means everything I'm telling you right now, don't just take it to heart. Make sure you hold me accountable to what I'm saying. I'll always say that. So be very mindful. Remember, you manifest these experiences yourself. The reason why I'm going hard with this is you guys have worked too hard. You guys have worked way too hard. So much so that some people feel like you haven't worked hard enough. If you are here, you have worked so hard to integrate. Just the fact that you're consciously doing what you can to find more of your truth, to really, break through old habits. That's work that you don't get a trophy for. You know what I'm saying? Like that's work that many of you have not really been sat down. No one has really sat down and told you, congratulations. Wow. Look at all this hard work. If anything, some of you have received the opposite, just more criticism. You're not good enough. You're not working hard enough. You're not doing what we want you to do. You're doing all this spiritual stuff. Why don't you do something that we consider real? Completely disrespecting your authentic path. I don't think they know, and I hope you know, you're not meant to walk the conventional path. Maybe in the age of Pisces, and even not then. Congrats like Post Malone. Shout out to Posty, making that song talking about they're all saying congratulations to me now, but they weren't saying that before then. Let me remind y'all, this year is the glow up. This cycle is the glow up. Like, if you are walking your path, you're glowing up. Why? Because once Jupiter goes into Capricorn, you have to take that ascension and glow up and you have to construct it. You now have to organize it so that once it goes into Aquarius, you're literally building a new community based off of what you've glowed up on. The winner circle. The next year of this cycle, next cycle is the winner circle. This cycle is the glow up. So before we can reach the winner circle, we need to glow up. And in order for you to glow up, you need to be quintessentially yourself. And I promise you, if you are doing this right, you are going to become the bad guy, because you're going to break almost every traditional norm that was supposed to make you accepted in order to break through and connect with other authentic people like you. And I'm telling you, like, a lot of you guys are going to be seen as like super weird. And if anyone says I'm weird, I'm just going to clap back and I'm going to be like, you're normal. And it's going to take them a while to get that. They're going to be like, what? Let somebody say, I'm weird. I'm going to be like, you're normal. And they probably might not even get that. I hope you call me weird. Weird is supernatural. There is a new ascension of crazy. Jupiter is king kunksing Uranus right now. From Sagittarius to Taurus, pure creation, ether energy of Sagittarius, and the most grounded Taurian energy that is coming into this eccentricity. So sanity is slowly but surely dying. That's what Saturn and Pluto and Capricorn and Uranus and Taurus is literally, like, people are saying the world's gone crazy. You have not seen anything yet. We're literally entering a time where the rate of mass shootings is going to exponentially rise. And we're going to have to wonder what's safe, what is truly safe. Like, this trend isn't going anywhere because people now have more freedom. This is why I'm saying this superpower activation is not as good as it seems. People are going to have more freedom to do what they want. People are going to have more access to stuff that they didn't have access to before. And that brings great things, but it brings worse things too. You haven't seen crazy yet. Safe doesn't exist, like Chad said. There's a new ascension of crazy within yourself as well. Think of it as a madness vibration that has slowly been raising. And with apathy, with a lack of passion, with a lack of meaning, it allows people to do stuff they would have never thought they would do. And it's slow but sure. This is now eradicating Earth. You must embrace eccentricities and quirks to combat manipulation. And I'm not saying that you need to be a stubborn dick. You can leave that to me, okay? I have a Taurus rising, so I'm gonna be stubborn as hell. But I'm not saying to be a stubborn dick. If somebody wants to really tell you something that you're doing wrong, then you should open up to them, provided that they're willing to open up their heart to you and not talk down to you, okay? That's real. And that's what makes it right. But if someone's right, if they're giving you facts, if everything they're saying about you is true, if everything that they're saying is right, but they're looking down to you, they're disrespecting your sovereignty, they don't see you as an equal, it does not matter what they're saying at all. And some people don't get this. You can hear it. They're like, but I'm right, but I'm right. And it's like, you're so busy being right, you don't even realize how you're disrespecting the person that you're arguing against. As a young Gemini, I used to do that all the time. I used to think it's just all about logic. These idiots don't know what they're talking about. And it's like, are you respecting the person? Do you even care about being right? Or is this for your ego? So keep that in mind. You're going to have people who think that they're doing you a favor because they tell you some rubbish that is not even relevant to your life. But in their narrative, they feel you should know. Don't let anybody play you. Make sure that your sovereignty is being respected. Make sure that your boundaries are being respected, okay? Don't allow others to seriously question your sanity when so many of you are building neural pathways to accept and experience experiences that there's not even literature for, because you're going to create that literature. There's totally new realms of thought, new ways of dating, new ways of being that people are going to look at and be like, that's crazy. But 50 years later, 10 years later, 20 years later, people are going to look like, wow, that was genius. Don't think you're above that. There's countless beings who in their lifetime, no one was able to really recognize the genius of what they did. It had to be the generation after. Keep that in mind, especially if you're born like in the late 90s and you have Uranus and Neptune in Aquarius. Any of you who have Neptune and Uranus in Aquarius, even in Cap, you need to accept that a lot of people will not respect what you do until it's posthumous. XXX is a living representation of this. It wasn't until he died. Pluto Sag died young. So like, don't do this for the image. Whatever you're doing, make sure you're doing this because you truly believe in it. Make sure you're doing this because you're tapped into spirit. And that's we're going to do the ceremony right now. All we're going to do is share. We're going to connect our energies. We're going to focus on an intent to be our greater self. And we're going to call in our higher self together, 500 strong. Your higher self is going to give you not even a sign. It's going to trigger an experience tonight that will give you an action step. For those of you who aren't even sure what to do, unless you already know what to do, then just do it. And I thank some of y'all I thank all of y'all. Some of you spies. I thank all of y'all for being here, because the numbers that we have strong are very indicative of the proportion and ratio. I'm missing the word to say that's going to represent this new year. Like, this is, you really have a warrior-esque attitude, because it's time, baby. It's finally time. Neptune is sextile Uranus. Your imagination and thoughts manifest reality more rapidly. So stay positive, and in your heart, please stop making excuses, and remember that you're the master of your own universe. So if you're in your heart and mind thinking negatively, Uranus and Taurus is going to manifest it immediately. You need to stay positive. And this is the last thing I'm going to say, because we're starting this cycle. Once we pass the Gemini season, like Aries season is going to do the spark. Taurus season is going to manifest this for real. Gemini season is going to hijack and upload this in your mind, and you're going to perceive the truth. Once we step into Cancer season and we're opposite these two titans, it's the deepest climax of the war, and there will assuredly be a part of your life that mirrors other years, but so much more intensely this year, where it's you and a few others, and you wonder, can I do this? Can I still believe in myself? Even if everyone else is making me out to feel like I don't know what I'm doing. It is not easy. And a lot of people will fold. A lot of people who weren't in this authentically because they wanted money. So it's like, oh, I need to change because this is going to screw up my chances to get more money. They're going to fall by the wayside. A lot of people who really just did this for fame. Oh, if I do this, people aren't going to like me. I'm going to see my follower. I'm going to see my account go down. I'm going to see my followers go down. Oh, well, versus the rare few of you who are like, I don't care about the money. I'm not saying that you shouldn't care about money. It's balance, right? But it's like, I'm not going to prioritize the money I'm making and the recognition I'm making over my goddamn mission. Spirit is working closely with y'all. And just know you're protected, because even when everyone else stands out of authenticity, but you remain authentic, there's nothing that can touch you. Even if your physical vessel gets shot up, or whatever, the spiritual essence that you're coming in with, no one can touch, no one can mess with. And this is where it counts. Saturn is literally 20 degrees. It's King Kunxing my sun. I'm like dying right now, but I'm transforming too. So like, trust me when I say, if there was ever a time to fight for who you are, for what you represent, for the truth, now is it. And North Node in Cancer is feeling sincere about it, really caring about it. And here's an exercise that I want to share with y'all involving the invocation of other people's energy. Whether you do it by thoughts or feelings, if you know someone's chart and you know where their planets are, well, if you in a subspace dimension of your own mental realm or mind think about them, you at a certain level activate their energies. Maybe you might need some Scorpio energy to maintain focus. Think of your Scorpio friend and really meditate in their energy. Okay, now this is different from invading their sacred space. There's a difference between summoning their energy in your sacred space, which is not a violation of their free will, versus willingly taking your consciousness and invading their aura. We're not saying to do that, but if you think of anyone, that's free. If you think of anybody, or if they come to you, be mindful of the zodiac energies that you're activating just by thinking of them. I've noticed this, where just being aware of a certain aspect activates it and really literally manifest some experiences, provided that they either may also know how to read minds. So just this week alone, you're going to manifest powerful indicators of your own supernatural ability that will be 100% tied into the work that you do. And I want you to be very mindful of extreme reactions of negativity from others. The rhetoric they will put is to make you feel that it's stuff you're doing, but it's way deeper than that. Because if it really was that, they wouldn't be as angry as they're acting. Okay. So trust me, you know, be very comfortable with being disliked. My Leo, you already know what it is. Gemini, you already know what it is. Aries, what's up? Those are the top 3 signs. And Sagittarius, like we're and Aquarius too. The top 5 signs that are the most comfortable being disliked, because we don't give a damn if someone dislikes us at all. The only time, that's not to say we don't get insecure, and if it's with people who we care about, but honestly, we get called arrogant because we don't care, because we know it doesn't matter in the present moment. If it's not helping you push forward and people are holding you back to focus on stuff that's already happened, just laugh. Literally be joyful that certain people are exposing their weakness by acting like they're triggered by what you do. So anyway, let's connect our energies. All we're going to do is set a simple intention. My intention is to unlock my full potential, manifest my true power, and become my greatest self. That's Aries, Taurus, Gemini. 1, 2, 3. You don't have to have just one intention, but all we're going to do is connect our energies while we're 500 strong. So you could breathe down to your diaphragm, breathe out gratitude, and now feel yourself connecting at a heart level. You could feel your hands connecting or your heart's connecting to everyone else in this live chat. And let's just take some time. I'm going to play this singing bowl so we can raise our vibration together. Just feel yourself. If you're a Reiki master, you can send healing energy. I'm already starting to feel tingly. Pause. And remember, this is warfare. Treat this like warfare in your dealings with others. There is a video of a Russian soldier who was just so calmly talking about people shooting at them. And then people were literally shooting at them at that same moment, like bullets inches away. This dude is not scared at all. He's just smoking a cig. Yep. They're shooting because he knows he's at war. He doesn't be like, oh, did you see how that person threw shade at me? Oh, did you see how that person disrespected me? Don't get touched by it. You're in war. People are being possessed by other beings. People are letting darkness in their hearts uncharacteristically affect their behaviors, consciously or unconsciously, unlock the swag unlock, negatively affecting you. And you can get in your feelings about that, or you can remember this is a war, stay aligned in your heart, and just laugh. You think that's going to knock me off center? I'm going to just stay true. That's all you have to do. Stay true. So let's combine our energies. Be even more careful about compliments and flattery, because that's how they get in. Don't just let anybody compliment you. Even the demons complimented Jesus. And Paul and the disciples are like, we don't need to hear that from you. Get the hell out of here. So keep that in mind. And now I want you to envision your intention. Activate Jupiter in Sagittarius and see your vision, and then activate Neptune in Pisces and literally just imagine the ultimate fantasy of that vision. It is okay to indulge in your fantasies. It doesn't have to be made real. That's a counter dark force that is literally sucking away the magic of your vision before it's made real, to have you doubt in what's possible, which is anything. Yes, I'm on a roll. So see that vision. How do you feel? What is that intention? Please be open to this manifestation coming into reality way different than you perceive. And when you're ready, well, okay, we're going to take 10 breaths together, connected, seeing that intention. And then on the 10th breath, you're going to release this to your higher self, to the highest expression of yourself, and then literally command that highest expression to manifest an experience tonight. All right, and say that in your own words. So let's now do 10 breaths together. I'm on some Captain Marvel meets Phoenix. Okay, that's what's up. Some of you, especially if you're born after the late 80s or 90s, if you're born before then, you're already doing this. But if you're born in the late 80s or 90s, you're going to find that you're being called to do things that are 100% different than you're used to. Like maybe not working for money, like manifesting in the most unconventional of ways, like taking a completely left field in your path, and really being open to new ways of doing things. So once again, let's do these breaths. One. Two. Please keep in mind that anything you do, you have to be willing to accept the consequences of. If you're worried about, should I do this or should I not do this? Ask yourself, what are the consequences of? And if you can own up to it, then do it. It's called integrity. 3. 4. Don't do crime if you can't do the time. And don't snitch on people if you did it with them. 4. 5. Maintain in your mind and heart your intention and connect with your higher self. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Awesome. So we now all send our intent to our highest expression. We release this. We are going to take action on realistically manifesting this. And we now invoke and command all of our higher selves as we're connected to manifest a supernatural experience that will show without a shadow of a doubt the next direction to take. Confirmation if we're already on the right path, and a totally redirect if we're not. And so it is. Now, the last thing I have to say before I let go, the moon, these are facts, okay? The moon, while you've been listening, the reason why I say we didn't have to do a ritual is because I was doing the whole ritual while we were talking. So if you were listening to me during this broadcast, and whether you watch this live or not, just listen to everything again. I was unlocking light codes within you. Pluto was on my moon, using my soul as a vessel to flow through my energy and awaken you. Saturn is directly king-kunsing my spirit. So there's two effects to this that you're going to notice as soon as we let go of this broadcast. The first is the Pluto activation. Light codes have activated within you. And if you're already activated, shout out to Kirky Cosmo, because literally, she literally called randomly and activated a lot of this too. So, and we have the same Cap Moon. She's just Sagittarius. So full connection. So you're going to manifest actual manifestation, not because of me, but Pluto through me. And these light codes are going to manifest physically. And it's going to literally be like 3 signs, and not signs, 3 actual manifestations. So that's the first one. The second one, because my sun in Gemini is being king cunked exactly by Saturn, so Pluto and Saturn, you're going to manifest cuts to anybody in your life who's blocking you. And the activation of your light codes is being met with the manifestation of a sacred partner, which is why, if you notice, we also had the talk with Sharon at the perfect timing. So the Pluto is unlocking light codes in you, and Saturn is literally manifesting breakthrough in a partnership. Claim that, take that. As you step into your power, you're going to hear dark forces deter you by making you feel like a loser or delusional. Tell them pesky ass dark forces that they can catch these hands. Period. They don't want smoke with you. That's why they resort to these dark, deceptive, manipulative practices. And that's all I have to say. Outside of those, be prepared to manifest a sign. The third thing is a sign from your higher self to tell you the next action step immediately. Like once this broadcast is over, I have my transit forecasts available. Hook your boy up. Oh, wait. Eric Holder pleads not guilty? What? What? All right. Anyway, see, the plot thickens. Other than that, please, yeah, I highly recommend you guys order reports, consultations, show me some love. You know, I want to give y'all great service. I mean, those of you who've ordered reports, you already know what it is. If you're still on the fence, holla at me. What's up? Hit up Patreon, join the fam. I put in a lot of work. I'm gonna put in so much more. Mystical Illuminations coming soon. The team is dope. Shout out to Super Homie Squad. And until next time, stay golden. Peace.